very good. Here we are, Saranavshi, the Gemora Shir. I'm substituting for Rabbi Levitt. Is Reuven Levitt, who's in America collecting funds for the yeshiva. I'm sure anyone who would like to assist him his assistance will be greatly appreciated and greatly rewarded. No doubt about that. And we're learning here in the Gemora in Bava Kama, Daf Mem Gimel Amud Aleph. About almost to finish the sugi. I think today and tomorrow can, more or less wrap things up, and then we can maybe begin a new sugya beginning Yom Rishon, Mitzvah Shem. So let's just get a little bit of a beginning. I would say again, as we've been learning, the Gemora makes a suggestion that there are two main Manda Oimrim, that's Rabbah and Rav Nachman. Yeah, that they should perhaps give a different teretz to the brisa that we were originally asking to Reish Lakish. Yes? Nukma. Why couldn't Rabbah set it up like this? Why couldn't Rav Nachman set it up like this? Have it there, Ron?
In the Gemara now?
Yeah, the Gemara. Yeah, that's 6 lines down. 6 lines down from the top of the Amud. First word on the line. The Nukma Rabbah. Your explanation is better, correct?
Why was it necessary for Rabbi Nachman and Rav Nachman to interpret the Torah as referring to the first woman? But let us interpret the Torah according to Rabbi and referring to a case where, after the death of the woman, the court collected payments and damages in cash.
So we could have said that the damages, again, the woman had a miscarriage, and therefore the husband would get the Meidvados, and the woman would get Tsar and Nezek, the suffering, pain, and the damages costs. Now, if it's paid to her in her lifetime, so she gets the money for the Tsar and Nezek. If the Beis Din collects the money from the perpetrator after the demise of the woman, then the woman's inheritors will collect the Nezek and Tsar.
Even if it's not?
Oh, so that'll be the matlokus Rabbah and Rav Nachman. Okay, according to Rabbah, if it's moist, right, then they'll get it.
Who's going to get it?
Well, again, it's going to be a question as to whether or not there's a before involved. That's going to be the nafkamina, right? That'll be the consequential difference.
So it's also, in the case of Nizikim, it's also talking about the before and that?
Yeah, because if you consider, how do you consider this money, the Nezek and Tsar, which was not collected during the woman's lifetime,
right, and
it's collected only after the demise of the woman.
Right.
So now, is that debt
right,
of payment of Tsar Nezek considered muksuk or roy?
Right.
And that will affect whether or not a before will get Pishnaim or not, a double portion.
For that Nezek and Tsar?
For that Nezek and Tsar.
Whatever the amount is.
Whatever that amount will be.
Okay.
That'll be a question as to whether or not the before will get a double portion of that or not. If it's Muksuk, he'll get a double portion. If it's Roy, he will get a regular portion just like anyone else.
This involved too, perhaps, whether if it's not Roy, but what's it called?
Muksa.
Muksa, sorry. If it's Muksa, then but you don't lay claim to it. Does that matter? I mean, it's still mine, but I haven't bothered to take it. It's there for my taking, but I haven't bothered to do it, and now I'm dead.
So that's the case we're talking about here, that the Beis Din will extract it from the, meaning the person who owes the money owes the money. He owes the money, right? Whether someone's going to claim from him money or not, that's something else, but he has a debt to pay. right? So it's just like any other debt. Does the person have to pay their traffic ticket or not? He's got a debt to pay. Now, is someone going to chase after him to make him pay that debt? Maybe yes, maybe no.
So I'm looking at the other way, from the other point of view. Not that the person has got that he owes, but that the person to whom he owes it belongs to him already.
Right.
So it's muksa.
Okay.
If he claims it, if he can only claim it now, it's muksa.
Right.
But if he doesn't claim it, since that's what we're doing. So if he doesn't claim it, then even though he doesn't claim it, it's still muksa.
So this is how we have to try and think about this.
Yeah.
If what makes something muksuk? Something do we consider muksuk something which is in the, if it's an actual estate of the deceased? Because again, muksuk and roy is only relevant in general, in our discussion is relevant to the inheritors, right?
Mm.
If there's a bechor, a firstborn, the inheritors will have to allow the bechor to take what we call pishtayim, a double portion, right? If it's muksuk. If it's only roy, a potential, then everyone gets equally. Now, when you look at the whole estate of the deceased, there are things which might be considered real assets, muksuk, and things which are potential assets, which are only roy.
Mm-hmm.
So, this type of a debt, right? What is this considered? This is considered part of the assets of the deceased, being he's muksuk, he actually owns them, they're within his jurisdiction, or there's only something potential that he could possibly, there's a possibility, and maybe a real possibility, maybe a legal possibility, but still it's a possibility, it's not something which he actually owns right now, right? Meaning the money that's in the perpetrator's pockets remains in the money in the pockets of the perpetrator.
Mm.
And even though it's owed to somebody, it's not theirs until they actually get it into their pockets themselves.
Mm. That comes back to the principle that whoever has it owns it.
Right. True. That's a basic principle. Koma shetachas yado she'adam shelo. Anything which is within the jurisdiction of a person, it belongs to him. And if you want to take it away from him, hamotzi mechaber lo lo v'raya. If you want to take something away from somebody, you must bring a proof that what you want to take away is rightfully yours. Until you bring a proof, you can't take it away from him.
So, but roy is something that doesn't come into existence until after the death.
Well, not sometimes, perhaps yes. For example, kofer.
Mm.
We discussed kofer. Kofer is something, as the Gemora itself said, there's no obligation to pay kofer until there's a death of the victim. If there's no death, there's no kofer. Kofer only comes into existence at the time of death. But at the time of death, in terms of the husband, right, that's considered roy, because that's considered something which didn't exist at the time of the marriage relationship between the husband and the now deceased wife, right? So therefore, that's considered roy in terms of the husband's ability to inherit kofer of his ex-wife, now deceased. So therefore it goes to the inheritors, you can say the sons of the wife, right, or the father perhaps if there are no sons or whatever like that, but it doesn't go to the husband, because the husband does not inherit roy. He only inherits muksa.
That roy came into existence the moment the coffer was created,
Came into existence.
Yeah, it came into existence.
Right.
It didn't come into existence after it was already there as coffer. It didn't come into existence just because she died.
That's why no. When she died, then it came into existence.
But it was liable before she died.
Well, again,
on her death.
Well, kofer is generated by the attack of an ox upon a muad amak, so a vicious attacking ox or any other vicious attacking animal, for that matter. So if such an animal attacks and successfully kills its prey, human in this case, kofar will be obligated. So that obligation for kofar doesn't exist until the point of death. Before the point of death, there's no kofar. There's no chiyuv of kofar. Only after the point of death, then there's a obligation to pay kofar. So therefore, the kofar never existed within the lifetime of the victim.
Even though there's the potential for it was created then.
It could have been created, yeah. I mean, again, maybe look. Sometimes the death can be instantaneous. Sometimes the death may take a while. You know, that depends on all kinds of different medical situations.
Alright, okay.
But in general, for example, kofar does not exist until the point of death. At the point of death, then kofar exists with the death of the victim, and at that point, there's an obligation to pay for the value of the deceased, and that's only something which is generated after the demise of the victim. So that's something which is not considered to be, in terms of inheritance, muksuk. That's something which is considered to be roy. And therefore the husband does not get kofar. So now we're transferring our attention to the tsar and the nezik, which are also obligations to be paid in a case of miscarriage, in our particular case now. And then, therefore, these obligations, what happens to these obligations if they hadn't been paid in the lifetime of the woman? They had to be paid. There was already pre-existing chov. It's not like kofar, because kofar exists only at the time of the demise. But here, tsar and nezik exists previous to the time of the demise. And it could be that the demise of the victim is completely unrelated to the assault which led to the miscarriage. Not at all connected. Tsar and nezik completely disconnected to the death. Maybe it could be related. Could be related. Let's say the woman got wounded and she fell ill, and because she fell ill, she got pneumonia. Because she got pneumonia, and then after everything, kidney failure, and then within a short time after the miscarriage, she also left this world as well. Right. So that could be a direct cause of the original assault. Right. But the tsar and nezik is not related to the demise of the victim. Tsar and nezik are generated at the time of the actual assault. So therefore it was there, the chiyuv to pay was there in the time of the life of the wife. Right? So now...
That's what Rashi says.
Oh, yeah, well, let's read look at the Rashi. You have the Rashi there? Where's this Rashi?
The Nukva Rabbah.
Okay, you have it there, Ram? Nukva the Rabbah. Go ahead, read that please.
Nama lahu the Rabbah v'Radach Hukma b'Gusha. Hukma ma kedit lei v'ma kedit lei. Yishno chalin. Hukma the Rabbah kagon shegahu beit din ma'ot. That the beit din collected
money
from the
mazik, the assaulter, right?
Money. Min mazik l'shalem nezik v'tzar. Even if he was obligated while she was still alive, lo adif min milah b'shtar. It's not preferable than the situation of a milveh. It'll be the same thing. I guess it will be, well, according to Rabbah, Ma'od will be Ru'i.
Oh, so therefore, as is said by the Gemora, according to Rabbah, the mois, if they collected mois, then it's going to be ein loy. So why shouldn't, if the Beis Din collected mois, right? Why shouldn't it be collectible by the inheritors, or in terms of, like we were talking about Kushline, because that's considered roy, right?
That's what it says.
Good. So the ein lo is referring to the pishnayim of the bechor, the lav hani mois ninu avinu. That's good. right? Gavu mois ein lo pi shnayim, right? If according to Rabbah, they said after the demise of the victim, yeah, they collected from the mukzak, right? Or the mazik. If they collected from the mazik money for the tsar and the nezik, then that money is considered roy, and therefore if there's a bechor, the bechor is not going to get pishtayim because that's only roy. It's not mukzak. That's all according to Rabbah. Now Rav Nachman Omer. Want to read the next Rashi?
Rabbah gavu yoshin karka. Rabbah gavu yoshin karka. The milveh. Shalvan Avihem. That he lent out, his father lent out money or something. Yesh lo lebechor pi shnayim. Yesh lo lebechor pi shnayim. Havilei t'muzak. Hai karka yishlitlei avuhon. The karka had a lien on it from the father. From the lender, the father's a lender, and the borrower, his land had a lien on it to be paid to pay up the loan.
By very virtue of the fact that the borrowed money, his land becomes meshubed. Everything, even the shirt on the back of the borrower is now meshubed, mortgaged to the lender for the payment of the loan, right? Meaning he borrowed money. Initially, ideally, he has to pay back money, but if he doesn't have money to pay, then anything can be used as payment for the payment of the loan. Okay? Any property, anything he's got, right? As long as it's done in the legal.
Even his slave.
Even his slave. I don't think they can take the wife.
She's not a slave.
But anything that belongs, any possessions of the borrower, are now, in one way or another, collateral and mortgage, so to speak, for the payment of the loan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only a question. That's the question, basically, there in Bava Basra, as to whether or not that's considered a loan with a document to verify its existence, the existence of the loan, whether that's considered to be mukzak or roy. That'll be the difference of opinion that we have over there. Good?
So karka would be mukzak because why? Mukzak he had a lien on it.
Right.
Okay.
So again, so
And
that's
would be not.
so that's according to Rabbah, right? According to Rabbah, we collected karka, gavu karka, yeshlo pishtayim. Why, according to Rabbah, if they collected karka, why is it considered that it's mukzak and therefore he's pishnayim?
Right.
Yeah.
Karka yishtabed avuhon.
Well, right.
Okay.
That karka is mustabed gavu.
There's actual assets.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue.
Kavu meod ein lo. If they collect their money, kavu meod ein lo. This is still Rabbah now.
Right.
Pishnayim, they don't have Pishnayim. See, the Oshin, they don't have Pishnayim from this.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Love hachi meod, yechavihem v'havivoy. It's not the same coins of money that he
Right.
lent out that he gets back. So it's through it's potential assets.
Now, that's part of the discussion between Rav Nachman and Rabbah. What do we consider Roy? What do we consider Muksa? So why is Karka considered to be more Muksuk than Mois? Or on the other hand, why is Mois considered to be more Muksuk than Karka?
Right.
That's what we have to try and understand.
That's the difference.
Yeah,
Between them. Right.
that's right.
And we learn from this and the star, we learn this out on the Nezikim with the star and the Nezik Tsar.
Right, because
We're comparing the two things.
right, yeah, because you have the debt of Nezik and Tsar, and you have a regular debt. A regular debt was
A loan.
a loan, a star.
So we're comparing these two
Yeah,
things.
making a comparison.
Comparison.
Exactly. Yeah. The mazik, the perpetrator, owes Nezik and Tsar to the victim. The victim's not around anymore,
Right.
so he owes that money.
Right.
Just like the lender owes the money to the heirs of the deceased lender that lent him. So Rashi actually spends time explaining what the background is. And we say here that Gavo Mois, according to Rabbah, if he collected money, Eino, he doesn't get Yisrael. Why? The lav hani mois haniach avihen, bahavi roy. It wasn't the self-same money. We're talking about the halva, in the loan.
Mm-hmm.
The money that is going to be getting, the money that the inheritors are going to get, wasn't money that the father left them. It's different money. So since it's different money, it's different cash. Therefore, it's considered roy and not muksa. Right? Nevertheless, karka is considered to be muksa. Why? Because karka, even though it wasn't known exactly what karka would be used to be paid for the loan, nevertheless, he has a control over the karka in some way. It's meshubed in him. And to
Does it have to be
payment.
karka? It could be metaltalin also?
It's a whole discussion about metaltalin.
Oh.
Mikra din metaltalin is. So your question's opening up a different area of discussion here in the following way. When you have a lender and you have a borrower, right? The borrower wants money. The lender wants to make sure he has security for his money.
Right.
It's not lending money and not to get it back.
Right.
So he wants to have some collateral to make sure, to ensure the payment of the loan.
Right.
So sometimes if he'll lend out money, he'll take a pledge, he'll take a gold watch, right? He'll take a car and actually have the actual object within his own possession.
Right.
You want $1,000, give me $1,000 watch,
Right.
yeah? Give me a bulova watch, whatever it might be, give that to me, right? You give me the money back, I'll give you back your watch,
Right.
okay? That's one very simple way of doing it.
Okay.
Another way of doing it is, well, let's take our mortgage out on your house. You want $1 million loan from me,
Right.
right? So let's go down with the lawyers, and go down with all the documents, and therefore I'm going to be a sub-owner, so to speak, of your house,
Right.
right?
It's called a lien on the house?
It's called a lien on the house. The house is mortgaged. It's a collateral.
Right.
Yeah. So the question is as follows: when a person wants to lend money, he's obviously interested in ensuring the security of his loan best as possible, right? So what's going to satisfy him in terms of making his loan secure?
Right.
If he gets a gold watch,
Okay, that's one way.
that's a very good way, right? It's like you need cash, so you need $1,000 cash.
Right.
So you got yourself a nice watch there. So give me that watch, and I'll hold it. I'll write it down. You gave me this watch. I lent you this money. We have a nice contract, little document written up. You give me the money, you get the watch back.
Right.
I'm happy. I can continue on without any worries and concerns. And you got your money. You can do whatever you want. You make some money. Pay me back. You get your watch back. Now, Karka also. Karka has a very big advantage. Why? Because Karka is always there. Right? Karka is always there. Meaning, if whether or not we actually make a specific field of yours or specific dwelling of yours my mortgage, or we make it so it's just in general, but it's always there. The house is always going to be there. The field is always going to be there, right? If the person doesn't pay, so I'm going to move in. I'm going to take over, and you're going to have to prove to me, right, that you don't owe me the money in order to get me off the land. So it's very secure, the fact that the land is there always. Now, metaltalin, chattel, is not so secure. If I take it as a pledge, if I take the gold watch and it's in my rishus, so I'm very secure because I've got it already.
Right.
But if you're wearing your gold watch, if you're driving your car, right, if you're sailing your yacht,
That
right?
is his possession.
Not my possession. So you can sell your yacht to Vietnam, sell it to some Vietnamese over there or down under in Australia. And so now where am I going to? I'm going to chase after the yacht in Vietnam, in Sydney, Australia, to get a yacht back from you?
It's metaltalin.
It's metaltalin. It's here now. It's
not
gone.
his possession.
Right. It can be sold. It can be transferred. It can be destroyed. Right. The yacht can sink. Right. Even the field will be damaged.
It's not a secure way of getting
There's
his money back.
there's what we call very little, what we call Gemiris Das. There's very little, Gemiris Das means Das is mind, and Das means mind, and Gemiris Das means determination. You have very little of a determination of the mind to decide that I will lend the money on the condition that you'll give me metaltalin as security. It's very risky. It's very risky. Right? It can be done, and as a matter of fact, Tosos explains that in previous times, metaltalin was not very well accepted, but now, since the way we live, people are on the go, and things are not as stable as things used to be, so metaltalin has some advantages even over karka, because Jews could get kicked out of countries, and we're talking about in the Middle Ages and things like this, pogroms and crusades and all these.
Karka's not worth very much.
You can get killed. But first of all, Jews couldn't own karka.
How do you spell the name?
Excuse me?
How do you spell it?
Gemiris Das?
No, metal.
Metaltalin. Metaltalin. Mem, Tet, Lamed, Yud, Nun, I think. Nun Sofi.
Mem, Lamed.
Mem Tet Lamed, metaltalin.
Mem, Tet is that one.
Yeah, I'm going to prove that.
Mem, Tet, Lamed.
Metaltel. Mem tet lamed yud. Yud. Metaltalin.
Yud, Nun Sofi. You see the same expression by Shabbos, like you can't metaltal muksa, you can't move muksa. That's a verb. Metaltal is to move, right? So metaltalin is things which moves. That's movable goods. That's chattel. I think they call that in English chattel. Chattel.
Is that portable?
Yeah, portable also. Portable.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, so Rashi was explaining by Mois, money. The father never left him this money that's going to be coming with the due loan. So that's considered to be roy. In contrast, karka, according to Rabbah, karka is something which is obligated to be paid. It's mortgaged. There's a lien on the karka. So the father already, before the loan was ever had to be paid back, the father already had a certain control, certain what we call bailus, certain ownership of the karka. Maybe it was limited, but there was a certain limited ownership that the father had in the land. That's according to Rabbah. According to Rav Nachman, right? Let's see the next Rashi's. Rav Nachman Omer Mois Yeshlo. If it's Mois, according to Rav Nachman, the Bechor does get Pishnayim. Why does he get, if it's money, why does the Bechor get Pishnayim?
Rumod ein lo. This is Nachman. No? Wait. לחם מאוד גבוה מאוד, יש לו. It's a muzak dami. It is actual assets. Shehare what? Shehare mot hilva avihem. His father lended out money. Mot natlu, and money they got back. So it doesn't have to be the same coins or whatever, same bills. It could be other bills, but it's still money.
Right, it's the same category of objects, right?
Right. So this is mufsad, actual assets.
Right, so the question is why not karka? That's
Karka ein lo.
why not?
According to Rav Nachman, it is rui. Why is it rui? Karka lo hiniyach abihem. That is rui. Because karka is not hiniyach. Didn't leave them karka. It was in his possession.
Yeah, that karka that belonged to the mazik, that was never in their father's possession. He never left the inheritors any of that karka.
This is potential assets. So the inheritors will not get pish nine. Will not get pish nine. This is rui. Will get pish nine. The bechor will not get pish nine.
Right.
Achanami, in our case, in the Zakin, Nami Lukma Rab Nachman, Kagon, Shigabu Karka, that'd be rui. In our case, Nezik, the Mazik has to pay up Kagon Shigabu, and the collected Karka, Havi Rui. It is potential assets, and the inheritors of the woman that got damaged, the inheritors, the Bukhor will not get Pishtayim.
Right.
They will divide up evenly.
Correct.
Very symmetrical, very symmetrical.
Yeah, no, it's very
like this over there, and it's like this over there.
Yeah, if you go over it a little bit, it's not really complicated. It's a little bit the structure. It's a very structured Gemora. It's not very good. So that was what the Gemora wanted to suggest. Meaning, Gemora was wondering why couldn't we set up the teretz and the brisa Rab according to his shita that they collected mois. And Rav Nachman that they collected karka. Why couldn't we do that? So now we come to the close of the Gemora's line of questioning. Amri, Hani Mili, right? So the Gemora, back in, you have the Gemora now. Back to the Gemora. That's, you see where the two dots are. It's right about a third of the way down from the top of the Gemora, and you go a line up above the two dots. Amri. So Amri is they in the yeshiva. That's a lashon rabin. That's a plural lashon Amri. They said in the yeshiva. They gave an answer. Meaning, if you look at the second line from the top of the Gemora, it said Amri. You see there the second word in the second line. Amri. They said Grusha Nami. They said all these things. They were saying it was the Gemora, the yeshiva. Those Talmidei Chachamim at the time of the Gemora, they were saying these things in the base medrash. So Amri here, in our case, to line up from the two dots, Amri, they said a teretz, meaning the way they asked a question and they gave an answer. What's that?
Amri, they said, Hani Mili, Ibn Marava. The Rava, these words, these words.
Meaning, when did Rab and Rav Nachman say what they said? When did they say those things? That was according to the Mei Morava, those in Eretz Yisrael, Aliba de Rabbanan, according to the opinion of the Rabbanan. Kika Amrei Haka, and when they're speaking over here, it's Karebi.
Rabbi and Rav Nachman?
Yeah, Rabbi and Rav Nachman are speaking over here according to the opinion of Rebbe. To really understand this, we're going to need to see the Rashis.
And they said in Eretz Yisrael, they said according to Rabbanan, Rava, It's in Movavi. It's Eretz Yisrael, isn't it?
Movavi is Eretz Yisrael, right?
But they went according Rabba and Rav Nachman went according according to Rabbanan.
The Rabbanon, right?
And in Hacha, where's here?
In our Gemora. In our Gemora, right?
Well, this is Eretz Yisrael. The Hacha is
Hacha's really here.
Now Gemora.
Yeah, our Gemora here in Bava Kama.
Oh, okay.
The discussion that's taking place here in Bava Kama is according to Rebbe. See, the Gemora there in Bava Kama, in Bava Basra, was going according to the Bnei Morava and in the Shita, in the opinion of the Rabbanan.
Right, okay.
Our Gemora here in Bava Kama is going according to the
There's Rabbi and Rav Nachman going according to Rabbi in Hacha, in our Gemora.
Right.
Okay.
We need to see Rashi's to understand this more fully. Let's start. We won't be able to finish Rashi's today. We'll do most of the Rashi's tomorrow.
Okay.
But let's see the answers. Yeah, Amri. You have it there about 8 lines up from the end of the short lines. In Rashi, Amri.
Want to read?
No, I'm
okay.
pretty hopeless at reading Rashi.
No, and they can't be hopeless.
Pretty hopeless. Beautifully hopeless.
Splendorously.
Okay. I mean, they said, Hani Mili, these words, Daflu Rabbi Rav Nachman b'Yesh Chalim. These words that they were chokim, they were arguing. Rav Nachman b'Yesh Chalim in Bava Batra. Aliba the Bnei Rabba. According to the Rabbanim and the Bnei Marava in his Eretz Yisrael.
Okay.
Shalchu. They sent. Who sent to who? Right?
Okay, so the Bnei Marava, those in Eretz Yisrael sent. I mean, they sent a halacha, right? They sent a halacha to those in Bava. So the Bnei Marava, when they sent their halacha, right? They sent the halacha to those Tinoim, Amoraim rather, mostly Amoraim. They sent their message to those in the Bava, and they expressed the halacha as follows. Rashi is going to quote it for us.
Okay. Bechor notel pishnayim. The bechor gets twice the amount.
The milva
and alone the low
So they sent the halacha as follows. Right, Bechor, the oldest son, Bechor, firstborn, he gets double portion in the milva, meaning in the principal of the loan, but not in the ribis, not in the required amount of the loan outstanding. Good.
So Bechor notel pishnayim the milva. Very beat. Does it get pishnayim beat?
That was the question. The question was, you have 2 points. You have the principal of the loan, the actual amount of the loan, and then you have the ribis, the interest on the loan. Again, we're talking that you loan to a goy, you lend to a goy, not to a yid. Right. So the father, now deceased, has an outstanding loan, and it has a principal, and it has a interest.
Right.
So the principal, the bechor gets shnayim, but not with ribis. Right? The ribis the rabbanim, and it was established over there. The Gemora said we're talking about this case that it was going according to the rabbanim. The pligi allowed the Rebbe, that they argue on Rebbe.
Amar, so the Rabbanan say, Amri ein bechor notel pishnayim b'shvach.
Right.
This is Rabbanan talking now.
Right. So that's their opinion that the bechor does not receive pishnayim and shvach. Right.
Shvachot.
Nechasim, properties. Shavku nechasim. Meaning there was an improvement there was a shvach, there was improvement of the properties after the death of the father.
Right.
Right? So let's say it was, for example, most common case of shvach, let's say the father owned a field. Owned a field, right? A wheat field. Right? And let's say that the wheat field was barren at the time of the death of the father. And then eventually, as things progressed during the seasons, lo and behold, a whole crop of wheat grew up on this field, right? So the wheat that grew, right, after the misa of the father is not considered to be muksuk. It's only roy, because shvach is considered to be roy, not muksuk. Whereas the karka was something which is muksuk. So in terms of the bechor getting pishnayim from the land, he'll get pishnayim. From the crop, he'll only get an equal, fair portion along with everybody else.
I was saying the Rabbi, according to Rabbi, afilo Levitt nami shakil. His opinion, Rabbi, it's even with the Levitt, he also takes pishnayim, the bechor, pishnayim. The shvach memelahu, the shvach that the mother was worth more after. Memelahu is.
Pishnayim means Shnai means two, and Pishnayim means a little like a portion, a double portion. But the Bechor, the firstborn son, right, firstborn son, if all the conditions are met, he'll get a double portion of the inheritance.
Skill Pishnayim, the shvacha memelahu. The shvach, the up in price is
that's something which
is
is
already
memela. It comes automatically.
Automatically. That's the word.
Automatic. The memela is like automatic. It comes memela automatic. Yeah.
If this is really not to do with this, but I just wanted to. If someone would write a will that specifies otherwise, does that override halacha?
It's a very complicated halacha. It's spoken about in the Gemora, and in general, it's not really advisable. There are ways that the Gemora itself even discusses how it could be done, but it's not recommended. It's something which a person should try and fulfill. But you have to.
Is it better not to make out a will? If there is no will, then it gets pishtayim, by Torah law, right?
Yeah, by Torah law. Yeah, that's a question. I'm not sure.
I mean, in the will, it doesn't have to say that before we got pishtayim, because it's already Torah law. It doesn't have to specify it in his will.
Again, this is a very complicated, very complicated questions. Very complicated. If it's relevant, you need to speak to a qualified rabbinical authority who's had experience in these matters. If there's a bechor, again, it has to be a bechor. Sometimes it's not a bechor.
If it's a bat, what if it's a girl?
I don't think a bat gets. And again, I think it was a cesarean. If it was a cesarean, there's also, I don't think it was a bechor. It has to be like the bechor that had opinion of Ben.
If he's a coin, then
I'm not sure if that's a good question. I
don't have opinion of Ben.
They don't have opinion again, but I think he may have a din of a before. I don't know.
Okay.
Very good question.
Okay.
Yeah, very good question. Yeah, so if you have it before, it's worth looking into. Yeah.
Not that we've got that
I have
much to give away.
also.
So maybe we should look into it.
Yeah, we've got a bechor as well.
Okay, so there we go.
The bechor's got a bechor.
And the befor's got a very good.
And our son and another son have got a bechor.
Well, okay.
I think all of them have Bakorim.
Oh,
Have
sure, they like
Bakor in each family.
And that's very good.
We had pigeon and bin in each family.
Very nice.
But the father can give presents during his lifetime.
That he can. That
Whatever he
can.
wants to give, he can give.
Right.
All of his assets he can give off.
He can do that.
There'll be nothing in the will.
Yeah.
He can do that.
Could do that. It might be, if I'm not mistaken, I think that it might be leaving something over that at least you could get the Bechor, leave $100 and the
Right.
Bechor will get, 30, if they're, depending how many sons, he'll get a piece time of the $100 and leave a goldfish, 10 goldfish. He'll get 2 goldfish. Whatever.
How old he started?
Oh no.
Long time ago.
Oh well, that was
Because we left on the air conditioning.
got too cold for them.
We did cold goldfish. Because of the moment.
Okay, I tell you, we'll stop now. We're at the close of the Gemora, and we need to understand how the Gemora is going to offer a reason why we can't set it up to be like Rav and like Rav Nachman similarly in the Gemora and Bava Basra, and why our Gemora is different, which is basically what Rashi is dealing with. We'll go over the Rashis. We'll spend most of this year tomorrow, believing that, on the Rashis coming up, and we've even started some of them, and then if we have that clear enough, we can even start to go on to the next part of the Gemara for next week.
We should go with
Or the 2 dots. Yeah, Amarei Shlokish.
Very sluggish.
Shur Shahamis Es HaEvid. Shlo B'Kavona. Potem Mishloshim Shkol. Rabbi Shlokish makes a comment. You have a shur. They went ahead and killed an Evid without Kavona, meaning let's say he was chasing after a ox and he wanted to gore an ox and he gored the Evid instead. Rabbi Shlokish says he's Potem Mishloshim.
Okay.
Mitzvah Shem. Until tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you.